The 6th of April, 2024, Luton Town battled to a 2-1 victory over Bournemouth to lift themselves to the precipice of safety in the Premier League. But fast forward 12 months and Luton Town are barely clinging to their status, not as a Premier League club, but as a Championship club. 3 promotions in 5 years saw Luton fly up the football pyramid, but something needs to change if they're going to keep themselves from free-falling back to the doldrums of the football leagues. This is Operation Survival, episode 1 of our realistic Luton Town rebuild. Let's get into it. So Kieran McKenna, the architect of Luton's rapid ascent, is out, and new manager Matt Bloomfield is going to have his work cut out for him if he's going to guide the club to survival. Luton have conceded 60 goals in the Championship so far this season. Only a handful of teams faring worse. So I think priority 1 simply has to be defensive solidity. So we'll be going with a flat 5-4-1 to finish the season, trying to take advantage of the number of strong centre-backs we have in the squad to keep as many clean sheets as possible, particularly against some of the Championship's big hitters. With just 8 games left to play, we are taking on Leeds, Coventry, Bristol City, and West Brom, all of whom are chasing promotion. However, we're also taking on Derby, Stoke, and Hull, who are all just above us in the table. So if we can get some draws against those bigger sides and beat some of the fellow relegation strugglers, we might just have a chance of surviving this season. If we do manage to stay up, priority 2 is going to be trying to find a more forward-thinking tactical system that produces more goals. But now we're going to be looking to break quickly and efficiently from our defensive shape, looking primarily to exploit some long diagonal balls from left to right, to exploit the pace that we do have down the right-hand side. But that's probably not going to be a sustainable approach moving forward. Luton Town have scored just 34 goals in the Championship this season, less than half the total of second place Leeds. So if we are going to find our way back to the Premier League, we simply have to find a way to score goals on a more consistent basis. I think it's safe to say Luton haven't had the best season, so a number of players are going to be playing for their Luton Town careers over the remaining fixtures. Tim Krul and Thomas Kaminski are both solid but older goalkeepers. Alfie Doughty is, I believe, the highest overall player in the side. However, his contract is expiring, just 3 months remaining. So we're almost certainly going to have to look to renew that at some point over the remaining months. We do have a number of useful centre-backs, but again, they're on the older side. Naismith, 33, Amari Bell is 30, Lockyer is 30, Burke and Anderson are even 28 and 27 respectively. Mark McGuinness is by far our youngest starting centre-back at 24 years of age. We do, of course, also have Ted Mengi, who would be a starter if he wasn't injured, but injuries, something that Luton Town have really struggled with. Hashioka also out, Marvelous Nakamba out, Baptiste out. Tahith Chong should be returning to the starting lineup fairly soon, and it won't be a moment too soon because our midfield, again, not exactly an area of the squad that's overflowing with talent. Our best midfielders, like Jordan Clark, like Mpanzu, like Marvelous Nakamba, are all old, and our young midfielders just aren't that good. And then up front, we do, of course, have the Luton Town stalwart Carlton Morris. We do also have Elijah Adebayo. They've been known to play together. We're only going to be playing one of them. So I think it's safe to say there are a number of areas of the squad that could certainly be improved going forward. I think we also need to look to get much, much younger. But let's not put the cart ahead of the horse. There'll be plenty of time to form a tactical system, to organize a recruitment approach, to overhaul the squad in future episodes. For now, our sole focus must be putting points on the board, starting here against our first opponents, Hull City, where we will be lining up in that flat 5-4-1 formation. Today's video is sponsored by Enigma Football. They're the UK's leading supplier of football shirt mystery boxes, and they're the best value for money you'll find if you're looking to surprise the football fanatic in your life or simply to expand your own shirt collection. As usual, Enigma have sponsored this career mode series by sending me a Luton Town shirt, this time an away shirt. It's 100% real, 100% authentic. Enigma get the shirts from the clubs and manufacturers themselves. The tag even is still on this one. And as the tag indicates, this shirt would usually cost £60 if you bought it direct from the club. But Enigma's mystery boxes cost just $34.99. So that means you're basically getting shirts at half price. And as if that wasn't enough, you can use code LAMSY at the checkout to get another 10% off your first order. So whether you're looking to make a one-off purchase or whether you're looking to take out one of Enigma's mystery box subscription packages, use code LAMSY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. Shout out to Enigma Football for sponsoring the video. So Operation Survival is underway. The Matt Bloomfield era here at Luton Town is underway. And for those of you who've seen my career mode series before, we are making a significant departure from those career mode series by playing 5-minute halves. I recently put out a slider update video that features the sliders I am using for this particular series, and they are designed for 5-minute halves. If you've seen my videos before, as Kaminsky comes out to smother, if you've seen my videos before, you will know I like to play on 10-minute halves. Slightly different format for this particular series though, and we are using 5-minute halves to accommodate that. Alfie Doughty lofts it into the channel for Bowler to chase. We're going to be looking to get Alfie Doughty overlapping Josh Bowler. Josh Bowler? I am not confident that's his name. But we're going to be looking to get Alfie Doughty overlapping and Bowler dropping in short. Bowler going to be the primary player looking to play those long diagonal balls from left to right, targeting the pace of Isaiah Jones, who is set to winger attack. And already we have another player down. Injuries not been kind to Luton Town in recent weeks and months, and it looks as though we have another one here as the Hull City player is caught offside. And it does look as though it's Walsh who's picked up the injury. He is tracking back. We'll see if he's able to stay on the pitch, but I imagine we're probably going to have to take him off at some point here in the first half, as Hull finds space in the penalty area and punish us immediately. Defensive solidity was priority one. It's not something we've been able to achieve here in the first 15-20 minutes or so of the game against Hull City, and I believe it's Geldhart who opens the scoring for the home side. Really poor defending. We had numbers back. It's just an intelligent position taken up between the two centre-backs. And I think that's something we're going to have to be wary of if we are going to persist with this 5-4-1 formation. So Liam Walsh will make way for Van Darbo. So hopefully Tahith Chong makes a return to the starting 11 before too long, because we could certainly use the numbers in midfield. Victor Moses just retains possession. We work at left to Amari Bell. Not too much on ahead of him, but Bowler has just dropped in. Alfie Doughty ahead of him. Van Darbo makes the run in support as well, but Bowler just continues and will look for Carlton Morris in the box, and it's a good cross. Morris just couldn't quite find it in the air, and Hull City work it clear. So back out for the second half, where we need a significant improvement on that performance in the first period. Pretty much dominated by Hull. That's a poor challenge by Geldhart. That's not going to earn him a booking. It's a late challenge, probably worthy of one, but the referee keeps his cards in his pocket. And a big switch of play, this time from right to left, finds Alfie Doughty on the overlap. Hooked into the box, blocked by the Hull City defender though, and out for a corner. So Alfie Doughty to deliver. A number of big bodies in the box, one of whom is Carlton Morris, who heads home the equaliser. The captain levels things up just after half-time, and that's exactly what we needed. Kaminsky kept us in it at the end of the first half with a big save. Carlton Morris has got us right back into the game with a big header just 5 minutes into the second period. Rose highest. Too much power on the header for the goalkeeper to do anything about. Hits the back of the net, and we are level once again. And hopefully have the impetus, have the momentum to go on and win this game. Clark intercepts Van Darbo with Bowler, and Alfie Doughty on the overlap. Lays it out in front of Doughty, who just about gets there. And again is going to look for Carlton Morris. It doesn't quite fall for him. And Isaiah Jones at the back post. Can't get to the second ball either. Good spell of possession for Hull City. Really struggling to win the ball back in midfield. But Alfie Doughty steps up and intercepts the pass and breaks away down the left-hand side. It's a horrific challenge. Surely we are going to see a booking on this occasion. The referee kept his cards in his pocket earlier in the game, but the Hull City player surely can't escape a booking for that one, and Nordim Amrabat does indeed see yellow. So one final roll of the dice here for Matt Bloomfield and Luton Town as Carlton Morris, the goal scorer, makes way for Elijah Adebayo. Just going to be another big body in the box as we try and defend this Hull City corner. Hull City in search of a winner just as much as we are. Head is clear. Brown goes out to meet Alzate. Nicely worked by Hull though, and they do get the shot away. Saved by Kaminski. Spilt it. Did manage to collect on the second effort though. And it's a really good pass into the path of Bowler. And Walters up from that left back position. Just about manages to get to the ball. And he's brought down in the box. That's got to be a penalty. How is that not a penalty? He was dragged down there by the Hull City defender, surely. And with that, our last chance to win this game is probably gone. And the final opportunity is going to fall to Hull here. And they take it. Disastrous. Disastrous 90 seconds. How was that not a penalty at the other end? We're going to lose the game. Wouldn't have been overjoyed with a point by any means, but would have been content, would have been satisfied. Now we're not even going to get that. As João Pedro beats McGuinness in the air. What a header to win it for Hull, but how was that not a penalty? We're going to have to throw everything at them here. And we may not even get an opportunity to get a final shot away. And it's a really poor pass from Clark. 4 minutes of added time, but 2 of them have already elapsed. We are into the 4th. Pedro shoots. And Hull City are going to come away with the win. Absolutely disastrous. Absolutely disastrous. I'm certain that was a penalty. How was he not dragged down? Really could have done with a point. Again, wouldn't have been overjoyed with that by any means. But every point on the board is going to be so valuable at this stage. And we come away with nothing. To make matters worse, we do have to add Liam Walsh to our long list of injuries. He's broken his toe. He's going to be out for the remainder of the season. So we will unfortunately be without Walsh for our second game of the episode against Leeds. Marvellous Nakamba, Tahith Chong both return to the starting 11 for this one, however. And this is, of course, our first game at home at Kenilworth Road. It's going to be a big ask to get anything from the game against Leeds. They're currently in second place, by far the highest scorers in the league. We said in the last game, wouldn't be overjoyed with a point, would have been content. I would be overjoyed with a point here against Leeds United. Leeds immediately in behind though. Bell coming across to stop the cross from Dan James. Bell is beaten. Jaden Bogle, however, with an opportunity to put it in. Bell with another good challenge though, and Tahith Chong comes away on the left-hand side. Spots the run of Isaiah Jones. Again, not quite enough on the pass, but we will be continuing to look to exploit those long diagonal balls from left to right. Exploit the pace of Jones in behind. It's Leeds United who are in behind here though. Really nicely worked. That's a poor clearance. Victor Moses does eventually work it clear, however. Doughty finds Clark, who just lays it off of Victor Moses, who could shape to shoot from range here and does. Forces a big save from Ilan Melier. Victor Moses tucking in off that right-hand side. Don't often see him doing that. But he took up a good position there and got a good shot away. It's going to give us a corner here as well, which Alfie Doughty can take. We saw Carlton Morris score from the corner in the previous game against Hull City. Can't get his head to this one though. Oh, and we've allowed Leeds in here and they open the scoring. It was good defending initially. We just didn't track that runner. Stood up the lead striker as the ball was played into his feet. But as Brendan Aronson didn't track the runner off the ball. And he's put it into the back of the net once again to give the opposition the lead. We just stood up. I think it's Joseph there. But Aronson's just made a run through our two centre midfielders. Neither of them have tracked him back. And he's all alone, basically on the penalty spot. Absolutely nothing Kaminsky can do about it. Excellent finish. Leeds 1-0 up. So Leeds changes before the corner. We've made a couple of changes here too, as it's a Leeds head that finds the ball. Will it fall for Isaiah Jones here? Yes, it will. And he's got the pace to break away from Joel Pirot. Does he have the pace to beat Jaden Bogle? Possibly not. And he's put the ball too far ahead of Alfie Doughty once again. Doughty, to be fair, on his last legs, again, is putting a hard shift up and down this left-hand side. Not sure he would have had the energy to do anything with that ball had it found his feet, but unfortunately it's a poor one from Isaiah Jones. And again, the execution just at the crucial moment is what's let us down. Hasn't let Leeds down though, and it doesn't let Leeds down there. As I believe it's Joel Pirot, it is. Doubles the scoring for Leeds, and it's going to be back-to-back defeats to kick things off here in Operation Survival. Not looking good thus far. We had 8 games remaining at the start of the episode. We've lost 2. That means we're going to have to pick up a hefty number of points from the remaining 6 if we are going to stay in the Championship. The plan, of course, was to stay up this season and push for a promotion back to the Premier League next season. May have to be back-to-back promotions at this rate. Leeds actually added a couple of extra goals late in that game, so they ran out 4-0 winners, and that sees us actually crash to the very bottom of the Championship. We were hoping for a turnaround in fortunes and to lift ourselves out of relegation. Doesn't look like that's going to be happening anytime soon, and with 6 games left to play, we are now 7 points adrift of the likes of Oxford, Cardiff, Derby, who are outside the relegation zone. And things could go one of 2 ways here, as we're going to sim our next game against Stoke. We could turn things around and finally start to put points on the board, or we could condemn ourselves even further by losing to a fellow relegation battler. Tedin Mengi, thankfully, is back for this one. However, Bowler comes back in on the left-hand side. Tahith Chong moves to the centre of midfield, and something, thankfully, worked, because Burke scores a single goal to give us a win and 3 points against 22nd place Stoke. We'll be hoping for a similar result here against Blackburn Rovers. We host them at Kenilworth Road. Unfortunately, they do come away with the victory. Bowler on the score sheet this time. Former Norwich City man Todd Cantwell equalises for Blackburn Rovers. Buckley gives them all 3 points in the second half. We could do ourselves a huge favour by picking up 3 points against Derby County, though. They sit just outside the relegation zone, 5 or 6 points ahead of us, I believe. So a win here could be really influential. We're going to be trying a 5-3-2 for this one. Both Adebayo and Carlton Morris start up front. So no pace to exploit out on the right-hand side for us today, but it's not as if that's been working particularly well thus far. And instead we'll be going with the 5-3-2, trying to hit both Adebayo and Carlton Morris up front. Nakamba finds Adebayo. And Moses is going to loft it up towards Carlton Morris, who can't quite win the header. We had Chong and Clark on the edge of the box there too, but Derby County hooked clear. And they managed to win the ball on the halfway line with about 4 Luton Town defenders in the area. How Derby County still possess the ball at this stage, I have no idea. I think it was McGuinness who went up to try and win the header. Was out-muscled, surprisingly. And the shot, thankfully, straight at Kaminsky. But we are all over the place defensively. To think that Bloomfield's priority 1 was defensive solidity seems laughable at this stage. So again, we find ourselves a goal down. Marcus Harness missed the goal, but just a quick counter-attack, really. Again, our defensive line too deep to really press Derby County when possession turned over. This is nicely worked, though. Adebayo to Moses. Just lofts it up towards, I think it's Alfie Doughty at the back post. It will fall for Tahith Chong. A line of Derby County defenders ahead of him. Moses in towards Morris, headed clear. I thought that was going to find its way to Carlton Morris at the back post. Victor Moses. And Morris just tries to lay it off to Clark, but it's well defended by Derby. And I think we have to press this defensive line higher up the pitch, because the Derby County striker is just in far too much space, and they're just allowed to play balls into his feet when possession turns over. And we're just not putting enough pressure on them. So certainly a change to make in the second period. So Matt Bloomfield just throwing mess at the wall and seeing what sticks at this stage. It's not time to stick to your principles. It's a time to try anything because we are dangerously close to condemning ourselves to relegation back down to League One. So anything that we can try to put points on the board over the remaining games is going to be tried. So we are pressing our defensive line higher up the field. And we're going to try and play with possession a little more. Nicely worked from Derby, though. The goal scorer, Harness, puts the ball into the box. Well won, I believe, by Ted and Mengi at the back there. And Clark lays it off for Doughty. We don't have bodies forward. So Clark just finds Nakamba. Tahith Chong works it all the way over to Victor Moses. There's one of those big diagonals that we do want to look to continue to exploit. Doughty brings it down, crosses towards Adebayo at the back post, who can't win the header. Headed clear by Derby. Nakamba wins the second ball, though. Tahith Chong tries to find the feet of Elijah Adebayo, who just drifted off his man there. Well cut out by Baptiste. He finds the feet of Carlton Morris, who in turn finds Alfie Doughty. 10 minutes to get back into this game. Doughty can't find a cross. Does find Baptiste, though. He finds Chong. And Nakamba once again. It's his pass that started this move. It was almost his pass that ended it. Alfie Doughty with the step over. Beats his man into the box towards Adebayo. And the Derby keeper gets there before the big man. The final whistle goes. And it is going to be Derby who come away with the victory, probably securing survival in the championship for them, possibly condemning us to relegation. There's going to be another inquisition, another inquiry as to how we've let yet another game, yet another 3 points slip through our fingers. So Derby County moved to 48 points, which, to be fair, is only 4 points clear of the relegation zone. We're only on 38, though. That gives us very little margin for error in our final 3 games of the season. Even if we take all 9 points from those fixtures, we'd only finish on 47 and would have to be relying on the likes of Oxford, Cardiff, to not pick up any points at all. So we'll see how we fare in the quick sim against Bristol City and against Coventry. And if we still have a chance of survival, we will play the West Brom game to close out the season. And we come away with a 3-0 victory against Bristol City, who are trying to secure a playoff place. A brace from Carlton Morris either side of half-time gives us a 2-0 lead. And then another goal from Nakamba, just 7 minutes from time, secures the victory, a massive win. And that will surely give us at least a little bit of hope as we embark on our final 2 games of the season. First here against Coventry City, who again are trying to secure a playoff place. And we do come away with a point. Marvellous Nakamba scoring in the 12th minute. Sakamoto equalising for Coventry City. Whether a point is going to be enough to make this final game against West Brom meaningful, we will have to see. Stoke City at least do lose 4-1 to Sheffield United, but we're going to have to see how the table shapes up. Stoke City on 44. We are on 42. Oxford United are on 45. They have a goal difference of minus 23. We have a goal difference of minus 29. So we need to beat West Brom 7-0. And we need Oxford United to lose their game. Who do Oxford have in their final game of the season? Swansea City, who sit just ahead of them in 19th. It's a long shot, but you're saying there's a chance. So we said we're just going to have to throw mess at the wall and see what sticks. That's exactly what we're doing for our final game of the season here against West Brom. We're not going to score 6 goals sitting back with 5 at the back. So going with a true 3 at the back for this one. Anderson, Mengi, Bell, Jones and Doughty will play out wide. Clark and Nakamba will play behind Tahith Chong. Both Elijah Adebayo and Carlton Morris start up front for this one. And I will be showing you every kick of the game, every minute of this match against West Brom, since it is so influential and we are indeed fighting relegation. If West Brom go 2-3 goals up, perhaps I won't show you the whole match. But as long as we're in it, as long as we have a chance of staying up this season, I'll show you every kick of the game. So we'll see how West Brom are lining up as the teams emerge from the tunnel at the Hawthorns. Strong side for us. And if we do go down to League One, could be a side and a shape and a tactical system that we persist with, depending on how it goes today. But of course, relegation, something we are looking to avoid. 23rd in the league, a minus 29 goal difference. That could be really the thing that comes back to bite us. Because I think it's not unrealistic to think that we could win this game. But to win it 6-0, 7. No, we need to win 7-0. I'm not sure exactly how it would work if we finished 6-0 up. But Mason Holgate starts at the back. Darnell Furlong, Carlin Grant, Adam Armstrong up front, Tom Fellows in midfield. It's a strong West Brom side for sure. I'm not sure how the table will shake out if we end up winning 6-0. Because we'd be level on points and level on goal difference with Oxford United. I'm not sure if it would go down to the team with the most wins, whether it would be head-to-head. But either way, scoring 6 is going to be a tall task in the first place. So let's cross that bridge when we come to it. Jones immediately finds Adebayo, who plays the ball into the channel for Jones to chase. We are playing with a much higher defensive line in this particular game, as well as Adebayo almost steals the ball away as the West Brom keeper finds his defender. We're playing with a much higher defensive line. I think that was an issue in the previous games. When possession turned over, the opposition found it far too easy just to get the ball into the feet of their front men, as Tahith Chong gives the ball away. So we're going to be pressing higher. We're going to be pressuring the opposition as soon as they gain possession of the ball. And we're not just going to be allowing opposing strikers to take the ball into their feet and teammates to work off them. Alfie Doughty hooks clear, finds Nakamba, who just about finds Mengi. Anderson. Bell once more. Back across to Clark. And into the feet of Jones, who's tucked in a little here for some reason. Not entirely sure why. Tahith Chong doesn't release the pass. It's been poor to start this game, Chong. We really need him to pull the strings in midfield. He's not managing to do so far. He's given the ball to a West Brom player far more often than a Luton Town player so far. Jones. Good run. Tahith Chong finds him. That's a better ball. And with Carlton Morris and Elijah Adebayo in the box, you just have to try and put it in. Isaiah Jones does just that. It is blocked and out for a corner though, which Alfie Doughty will take. Plenty of bodies to aim for. Doughty into a good area. Carlton Morris can't win it. Balls for Chong. Just lays it back for Mengi. Chong once again. And Doughty is onside. Lifts it in. And an acrobatic clearance from the West Brom defender, as the cross from Doughty looked good initially, but there was a little too much on it. And it flew over the head of Elijah Adebayo. Malumbi for West Brom. Put out well by Clark. Just prodded into the path of Jones, who again will drive. Finds Adebayo. And that's taken an interesting deflection. I think it might be out for a corner here, and it is. Adebayo just looking to loft the ball into the path of Carlton Morris. Takes a deflection off a West Brom man and goes out for a corner. Again, it's into a good area. Again, we can't get a Luton Town head on it though. Lofted up into the box. Hooked clear by West Brom. Not the best ball, but it was Teddy Mengi, to be fair. Not exactly what we're going to be asking him to do too often. Marvellous Nakamba does a good job of delaying that counter-attack as Anderson was dragged out of position momentarily. He's back in position now, but Fellows drives excellently dealt with by Anderson. Doughty skips over the challenge from the West Brom man. Oh, just tries to play it into the path of Carlton Morris. Was cut out expertly by Darnell Furlong. An opportunity to get in behind for the first time, really, in the game, which is exactly what West Brom managed to do. Good defending again by Anderson. And a poor pass ultimately by West Brom. Half an hour gone in the game, though. We haven't really looked like scoring, to be honest. And it's an awful pass. I believe from Marvellous Nakamba. Certainly not marvellous on that occasion. Good defending Alfie Doughty. Will be a West Brom throw, though. And every second, every minute that ticks off the clock certainly goes in West Brom's favour. Certainly goes in Oxford United's favour too. Trying their best to survive in the Championship. And again, those seconds just tick away. It's going to be a free kick. But we really need to get on the score sheet before half-time. We're going to have any chance of scoring 7 goals in this one. Doughty looks for Adebayo. Again into a good area. Will it fall for Chong? It won't. Nakamba sitting back. Can't get to the second ball. Malumbi up towards Armstrong. Been relatively solid defensively, to be fair, with just 3 at the back. Not really asking Doughty or Jones to drop in today either. Can't really afford to. Adebayo will drive. It's a good ball into the path of Jones. And we've got Clark in support. And support ball was intended for Tahi Chong. It was closer to, I believe, Marvellous Nakamba. Stepping up from his holding role to support the attack there. He's got to be offside. Lino, he's got to be offside. Linesman's flag stays down. Twisting, turning. Darnell Furlong on the edge of the box. Comfortable save from Kaminsky. He will just try and find Adebayo for one final opportunity in this first half. Referee's half-time whistle goes. We need to score 7 goals in 45 minutes. I'm not sure we've scored 7 goals in the last 5 games. So a tall task to say the least. Back out for the second period though. We may as well move into our attacking tactical focus. Because again, a point is not enough. 3 points even is not enough. It has to be one of the most convincing victories in the history of Luton Town Football Club if we are going to remain a championship team. The fall from grace for Luton Town has been just as rapid, if not more so, than the ascent. 3 promotions in 5 years, including back-to-back promotions to make it from League 2 to the Championship. But it's going to be back-to-back relegations, almost certainly, to send us back down. Not to League 2 at the very least, but to League 1. Jones. Carlton Morris. Made that run, Carlton Morris. Had to make the run there and just didn't. Just stood and watched. Industrious play from Chong. So I think at this stage we are just going to be considering which players we're going to be able to hold on to heading into Season 2. Alfie Doughty has put pen to paper and signed an extension here at Luton. So one of our best players, kind of Luton through and through at this point. Even though he's not even been at the club that long, I believe. Joined from Stoke a couple of seasons ago, if I remember. But he's going to be a fixture of our team in League 1. Since it does look like that's where we're going to be playing our football next season. Perhaps we can hold on to Carlton Morris, who again feels like Luton through and through. Or perhaps we go with Adebayo up front instead. Beyond that, almost everyone can go. Ted and Mengi would be useful to hold on to at the back. We will be trying to keep things as realistic as possible in almost all regards, but certainly in terms of transfers. So, why did he head that? Just bring it down. Had so much time there. So, most realistic maybe to allow Ted and Mengi to walk. I'm sure there'd be at the very least championship clubs in for him if Luton were to get relegated in real life. And the same probably goes to Alfie Doughty, to be fair, but since he has just signed a new contract in real life and we have replicated that here in the game, will likely be holding on to Doughty at the very least. Tae Chong, not so sure. Could go either way. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a championship club that came in for him. But perhaps we can hold on to him for at least one season with the promise that we will make it back to the championship in preparation for season 3. And there's just nobody working off Chong there. Ball into his feet. Nobody working off him though. There's only so much you could ask him to do from that number 10 role. Especially when we are asking Adebayo and Carlton Morris basically just to stay forward. Ball will go out for a West Brom throw. West Brom will make some changes here. Jed Wallace to come on. We'll make a change or two here as well. We may as well. Marvellous Nakamura on his last legs. Doughty the same. I imagine his stamina must be fairly low because every time we stop to make substitutions, he is less than fully fit, to say the least. So a couple of changes as we embark on the final 20 minutes, not only of the game, but of the season, and our final 20 minutes as a championship side. Good save, Kaminsky at the near post. Poor touch. Sees the ball go out for a corner. I'd like to win the game, but it's not even as if we'd be sending the home fans away relatively happy, because we are away from home at the Hawthorns, and it's not even like a victory that gets you relegated would make the home fans happy anyway. Henderson needs a bit of help. It's not forthcoming. He does find Elijah Adebayo though, and Tahith Chong can drive. Carlton Morris in support. Adebayo outside him. Puts it wide. Gilt-edged opportunity to at least give us all 3 points in this game. And I mean, Oxford United are playing Swansea City, who are pretty similar level of opposition, I would say. Not too much between the teams in terms of quality. Swansea probably, you would have to say, edging it over Oxford United. Not too much between them in terms of points this season either. But there is every possibility that Oxford United could lose the game against Swansea heavily. So even if we were to win sort of 2 or 3-0, if Swansea were to help us out, that could be enough. Carlton Morris buffs it up towards Adebayo, and it's a big save. It's a big save. We could have put that in the back of the net and somehow found a way to grab a second goal in the game. If Swansea win 5-0, that would be us out of the relegation zone. Chong finds Morris. It's a harmless header though. Just falls harmlessly into the hands of the West Brom keeper. Couple of chances at the very end there to win the game though. Squandered each of them. And with just about 2 minutes left on the clock, does look like it's going to be a bore draw to end the season. Just 0-0. It's been a somewhat spirited performance though. Really well played by, I think it was Anderson at the centre of our defence, stepping up and catching the West Brom attacker offside there. It's been a fairly spirited performance and relatively defensively solid. This has been the most solid we've looked defensively in each of our 8 games. Headed clear. Clark on the volley, maybe not. No, I mean, I'd powered up that shot an age ago. And the Luton Town fans go wild. And then they suddenly realised their plight. They were celebrating in the corner there for a moment. Celebrating getting a point against West Brom, which, to be fair, earlier in the season perhaps they would have been celebrating. But they suddenly come back to their senses and realise that a point means relegation. Back-to-back relegations for Luton Town. Operation Survival fails. It's dead in the water, really. But we're going to have to move from... Jesus. Adebayo, are you alright, mate? Is that another injury we're going to be notified of after this game? But Operation Survival is going to have to become Operation Promotion once again. And Swansea did win, and they won 3-0. So actually, we would have only had to score 4 goals in order to to overcome Oxford United. Oxford do slip into the relegation zone, actually. Stoke do enough to climb out on the final day. They survive on 47 points. Oxford, Luton Town, Plymouth Argyle will go down to League One. Will be Sheffield United who win the championship. They break 100 points. Leeds United just behind them with a massive 89 goals scored this season. And it'll be Burnley to take on Middlesbrough, Sunderland to take on Coventry in the playoffs, Bristol City, Norwich, Watford just missing out. So really disappointing season that sees Carlton Morris, the highest scorer on the team with just 10. 3 assists. Adebayo scores just 5 goals in 41 games. What a horrendous return for a striker. That is absolutely terrible. Jordan Clark scores 5, assists 3. Jacob Brown gets 4 goals in 31 games, 3 for McGuinness. He's a centre-back, and Adebayo only scored 2 more goals than him. Tahith Chong, just 2 goals. It's poor performances, it's poor returns all around. Alfie Doughty even, only with a single goal to his name, 5 assists to be fair, but you would want really double-digit assists from somebody like Doughty. So not exactly the way we wanted episode 1 to go. I wanted to lift us out of the relegation zone, overhaul the squad in the summer, and make a push for promotion back to the Premier League in season 2, but it looks like we're going to have to take a couple of steps back before we take any steps forward. And we will try and put the pieces in place to take those steps forward in the next episode. We'll be buying and selling, or more likely loaning. We'll probably be looking to the youth academy to bolster the squad as well. We'll be looking to add a couple of influential members of backroom staff to overhaul our tactics. And we'll be making those parachute payments from the Premier League stretch as far as possible. So that'll do it for this one. Hope to see you in the next one. Take it easy.